everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 500 something of the Mana Pool. Yeah.
Might be 539 with a margin of error plus or minus 2. Let's call it that.
Is the 530 right, though, you think?
I think you were right on that one.
No, okay.
I guess we need to make the margin of error plus or minus 20.
Yeah, just in case. So, because for some reason that number just has fallen out of my brain. But I'm Chewie. I'm driving with Mike.
Hello.
And we're heading to House of Cards in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the Ravnica Allegiance Prerelease. So, quick story, Mike.
Okay.
When I called Will to get us on the list on Thursday, like I said I would, he went, Sunday? And I said, yeah. He said, there's a problem.
What?
I said, what's that? He goes, Sunday's full, dude. I went, what?
What?
He said, yeah. I went, oh. He says, what you get for calling at the last minute? I was like, it's Thursday evening. What? Last minute would be Saturday. He goes, yeah. Well, for some reason, a lot of people didn't sign up for the midnight this time. They all went Saturday and Sunday. I was like, oh, they all grew brains. Got it. He said, tell you what. I like you. We'll make it work. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. Don't worry about it. What guild you want? I went, oh. He said, as long as they're not Orzhov, you're good. I went, oh.
Oh.
So, okay, well, Brian wanted never mind. He wants Gruul. He's okay. I said, Mike wants Gruul. He goes, okay. I said, the Simic second. He goes, sure. I said, okay. And he said, what do you want? I said, give me the least popular thing. He goes, what? I said, give me whatever thing is the absolute least popular. He goes, so Simic? I went, really?
Really?
He goes, wait, so you want like absolute least popular? Yes. He said, okay, Azorius it is. I went, all right. That's like when I asked for least popular last time and Lucky gave me Selesny and I was like, are you people high?
Yeah, that was messed up.
And then I went undefeated. So yeah, we are on the way to House of Cards to go do the thing. Brian is probably there already. I'm trying to remember the best way to get there from here because we had to go this highway because the other highway was closed halfway down. But yeah. And we've just been driving along. Yay!
Yay.
So what you hoping for, Mike?
I'm hoping for a bunch of big red and green creatures. I like big creatures in limited, and attacking is really strong in limited, so that's why I picked Gruul with Simic as the second, because they got big creatures too.
Yeah. And
hopefully, there's crossover opportunities. If I get Gruul, there's crossover opportunities for Simic or Rectos.
Yeah.
And black is usually pretty good in limited.
Yeah, I've been told that the Jund and Teamer were all over the place at pre-releases. I'm hoping for some Esper or Bant because I can let's see, my white can mix with Orzhov.
Yeah, and the blue will mix with
Simic, yeah.
Which gives you two very different, interesting options.
Yeah. I don't know which one I'm hoping for more. I guess whichever one has the better cards, really.
Yeah.
Because my preparation for this is zero. Like, I haven't looked at Ravnica Allegiance since our last episode.
Yeah, the most I've done since our last episode is read the completed card image gallery. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I didn't even do that.
Well, there's some cool stuff.
Oh, good. But is this really the best way to go? I guess I'll go down all the way and hit business 40 and come back to yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be the best. Okay, sorry, excuse me. Wayfinding.
I guess I could check on my work phone.
Well, I mean, at this point, by the time you get it punched in, it'll be too late to change.
Yeah, probably.
So, is there anything else? Or should we just wait till we get to see Brian?
That's it for me for now.
Cool. Oops, sorry for the, well, not really sorry, but sorry for the lack of early release on this episode for everyone who gets that. But since we're going to the Sunday pre-release, when I get home tonight, I'll most likely, or first thing tomorrow, I'll put it all together and get it public. But usually we end up recording a third preview episode the week of the pre-release, and then our pre-release episode replaces next week. So our pre-release episode is always like a week after the pre-release, which seems silly.
Yeah.
So I figured this time, and also since we were having issues actually communicating last time.
Yeah.
It turns out while the website is down, apparently our email address doesn't work either. So nobody got any emails that anybody else sent about scheduling the episode.
The only reason Brian saw mine is because I also copied his other email address.
Yeah. Which weirds me out that he didn't see mine because I did too.
I thought he said he did see yours.
Oh, did he?
He told me he saw yours.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't see it at all. Yeah. That's how I found out about your email when I talked to Brian.
Oh, okay. So weird. But yeah, since none of us had been able to communicate and we didn't realize that no one else had seen it, I thought they were just not responding like usual. We decided to just skip last week, and I played through Legend of Zelda on the NES Classic that night instead, which was pretty awesome. Yeah.
By the way, your idea of how to get there, that's what the maps is suggesting too.
Oh, okay, good. But yeah, over on YouTube very soon there will be, very soon I will be starting up posting the Legend of Zelda playthrough, because I played through the entire first quest in one sitting. I called the old man and told him, and he was proud of me. He's like, in one sitting? I was like, yeah, and I only died like 4 times. He said, what? I was like, one of those was on purpose. He said, holy crap.
Yeah, you did really well. So what is the last thing you didn't get, the red ring? What does that do? Is that just more damage prevention?
Yeah, it halves your damage again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, spoilers. I didn't get the red ring because while I was wandering around looking for it, I found Ganon. I went, oh no!
Suddenly, Ganon.
Which bothers me that I never got the red ring and couldn't for the life of me figure out how. But anyway, we're merging on to Business 40 now, so I'm going to stop this recording. We'll pick it back up when we get to House of Cards in just a few minutes. Alright, we're now at House of Cards, and there's a lot of people here. And hey look, we found Brian.
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler and tangent master of the group. I wanted to be Orzhov, but apparently so did everybody else. So today I'm gonna, my seeded pack is Gruul. We'll see how it goes. And up until maybe like 2 hours ago, Sam was thinking about coming too. She actually built two sealed decks last night. One with my help out of 6 packs of Return to Ravnica Part 3, the whatever. And it had like a Vraska and a Assassin's Trophy and all this crazy stuff. And then I had her build another one from another 6 packs without my help. She built a really kick-ass Boros deck, but she left out the Phoenix because she said, quote, I didn't want to put anything in that would beat me too quickly. Because she intended to play the Golgari deck against it, but she knew it was good. And we talked about it, and she's not coming today, but she would love to play with you guys when you come over in February, which we'll talk about later.
Sure.
Okay.
Or March. But I'm looking to have a great time. What did you pick, Chewie? Or Azorius?
I told him to give me the least popular, so I'm Azorius.
And what did you pick?
I picked Gruul.
Gruul. Gruul.
Word. So yeah, I told Mike this on the way. I haven't told you. The pre-release was full when I called, but he added us in because he's a sweetheart.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. When I get here, I asked if they had any open slots because Carrie's actually going into work today, and so Sam went with Carrie.
Isn't it Sunday?
Yes. Oh, she went in yesterday too. She's really busy.
It's January.
I had told Sam I didn't even know if they had any slots, so I asked out of curiosity when I got here. He's like, I said, do you have any more? He said, we got one. So I guess if she had come with me, she could have had one more, but I didn't even ask what it was because she's off with Carrie. So.
Word. Well, I guess. Is that it? We good?
Until we get our stuff, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you will hear back from us once we start deck building. All right, deck building is over, but I'm shuffling, so I'm going to hand this to Brian.
Okay. I'm going to take this from Chewie. So, I am in Gruul, and I had debated whether or not to do anything else, but my packs were decently Gruul enough, I think. My promo card was a Cinder Vines, which I'm really excited for the prospect for that beyond this. But otherwise, I'm keeping up my trend, on again trend of no mythics, just in any color at all. So sweet, I guess. I don't know. I did get a Gruul Spellbreaker. That's the one that gives you and it hexproof during your turn. So that's pretty cool. I got 3 Skewer the Critics, and I did get a Clan Guild Mage, and I got 3 of the Spewer guy, the 1-drop. Where is he? This two spear spewers. So I'm going fairly aggro. I've got a slight black splash, and it's really kind of even optional because I have the Rakdos rare split card. So if I need to, I can always just use the hybrid side as removal, and I have a single copy of the Rick Smatty Reveler, who's the 2-drop that lets you rummage when he comes in, or you can do the Spectacle for 2, a black and a red, to just drop your hand and draw 3 cards. So I can kind of play that either way. So overall, it's a little more, I don't know, I guess, I don't want to say focused. Focus is good, but it's a little more ride and die than I like to do, because it's pure aggro, but and I don't know that I have a long-term game plan, but we'll figure it out. What do you got, Chewie?
Well, thank you. So I'm playing Azorius because that's what was the least popular, so that's what I got, and I ended up going heavy blue-white, just ridiculous blue-white with lots of little dudes on the ground, lots of flyers, and 1 Shark to Crab and 1 Zagana as the green splash. I also opened a Vanifar, but this deck doesn't work with her, so she's not in the deck. And yeah, I like it.
Yeah, your stuff looked pretty solid. So,
like, I've got so many Griffins, dude.
Griffins for days?
Griffins for days. I've got like 5 different flavors of Griffin. No, 4 Griffins and 2 Pegasus. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Mike just came back.
Yes.
Here, what you got?
I played Gruul. I also got Cinder Vines as my promo, but I decided to just leave it in the sideboard for now. I just don't know. But
he doesn't know. Doesn't even know.
I ended up dipping into black because I got 2 Rakdos Guild Gates, so that's always nice. And I got a couple neat black spells to back up my red and green creatures that I'm going to use to attack my opponents. And hopefully that'll be good enough. I need to try to win the game fairly quickly because I don't have a great big badass at my top end to close out the game like as a finisher. So
you guys are playing basically the same deck?
Basically.
I did get the 7-drop 6/6 with Riot and Trample.
Ooh.
So
that guy's awesome.
He's up there. I have
6/6 Trample with haste is amazing.
My curve stops at 5 and then just has him at the top.
So. Yeah, I was really hoping I would get one of those guys, but I didn't.
Sweet.
I've also got, there's a Simic frog troll thing that has adapt and has the ability, the Zagana ability, that your creatures with +1/+1 counters on them have trample.
Yeah,
So
I got one of those too,
deck.
so that's going to be really cool with the Riot guys.
You got it. You got it.
And I got the enchantment that gives my creatures Riot, so
Yeah.
I'll be excited to draw that.
So let me just put a +1/+1 counter on him and give him haste.
Yeah.
If it already has Riot. Yeah.
I get the feeling, though, I'm going to be using the put a +1/+1 counter on this a lot more often than the haste. Having the option for haste will be really important, but just because of the way limited works, I think dudes get bigger will be more generally useful.
For me, it's going to depend because, as I was saying while you were up, that I feel like mine is balls to the wall aggro because otherwise, if the opponent has a chance to stabilize, I may just not win. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yay, so now there's just a few minutes left before it starts, so we thought we would go ahead and knock that out. Tell you guys what we played.
Should be starting any time.
It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so more hopefully after round 1.
All right, so this is Brian again, reporting after my very quick round one. I did not know how I felt about the deck, but one thing it does well is it gets going fairly quickly. Now I say that, but it's kind of interesting. I played against Austin, and he was on Azorius with a light black splash. The only card I really remember him playing from black was Mortify, but anyway. He was a good guy. He got off to a kind of not a fast start, but he had some flyers. I didn't have anything for a while until I think turn 4 or 5 when I played my clan guild mage, and that at least allowed me to start swinging in with a land every turn. I was flooding out terribly. I did have the 7-drop in hand with with Riot and Trample. I also had out an early Cindervines, and it looked like he was trying very hard to play around it, and finally had to start playing some non-creature spells, so it dinged him here and there. And then ultimately I did sack it to destroy. He had a white enchantment that whenever I drew a card, unless I paid 2, he would get a treasure token, and I didn't want him having more mana, so I blew that up. I was able to get in with 4/4 lands several times, blow up 1 or 2 of his flyers with some of my removal, and then when I felt it was safe, because it looked fairly clear that he had some kind of counterspell, and it looked like he did have the quench, I was able to put down the 6/6 with haste, swing in. Next turn he killed it, and at that point I had a couple options, so I went ahead and put down my rare with Riot that also has hexproof during my turn, knowing that he wouldn't be able to really respond to it, or blow it up at least. In response, he had a blocker, but I was able to use the Guild Mage to make it so that creature couldn't block. Boom, done, next. Game 2 looked like it was a little bit of the same thing. I had a 3-drop. It didn't get countered, but he did, at the end of my turn, flash his Azorius enchantment onto it. That's a pacifism, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Not that it had any, but couldn't stop his flyers. And I'm like, ooh, is he going to beat me? Because he's hitting me for 4 in the air a couple times. And then once again, I was able to get down. The Guild Mage starts swinging a little bit, slowed him down, was able to remove some of his more important flyers. At one point, I did play the 4-drop with Riot and Trample that also has an activated +3/+0. Never used that. But I swung. He had out the flyer that gives his other flyers +0/+1. So he blocks because it's a 2/4 against my 33. I'm like, great. And then I paid the full price after combat for Skewer the Cricks to kill it. And that importantly allowed me to kill his other 3 toughness flyers. And at this point, I'm gaining slow incremental advantages. He's not able to really keep up with my damage. At this point, I hit him for 7 and cut him from 14 to 7, and I'm able to unload. And I'll tell you, I think he thought he was stabilizing. I think he thought he had 1 or 2 more turns, and I played out the skewer and waited a turn. And then at the end of his next turn, when it wasn't 76 anymore, I went ahead and tapped it to take him to 1, and then during my upkeep went ahead and tapped it again just in case he had any shenanigans, and boom. So I hope you're able to follow that. 2-0 and a record of 1-0 so far. Chewie looks like he's doing okay, and I want to see what's going on, so I'm gonna just go ahead and turn this off now.
So round 1. Good Lord, it feels like I've been here all day. Round 1 is over. I just finished playing against Evan, who had the cheeky maneuver of building 2 decks and completely caught me off guard. I sideboarded in that green spell that kills a flyer and deals 1 damage to the rest of your flyers. And I was like, haha, and then you're playing a different deck. And I'm like, well, piss. He had a Tesa, and at the end I was stupid and gave him 8 spirits. Because I'm stupid. And he won the first game. But then he switched to a Rakdos deck and got completely mana screwed in game 1, where he played a total of 3 lands. And then in the next game, game 3, he drew literally, 3 non-lands? Yeah. So, and my deck actually worked as intended the second 2 games with dudes on the ground. And in the last game, he got to a bunch of mana and he sacrificed his ill-gotten inheritance to get enough life to stay alive. And then next turn he tried to slam down a oh god, what's it called?
It's a 7-drop thing. It does cool shit.
Yeah, the one that what? Crap, I've completely forgotten. The one that gives your opponent 4 bad choices, and the name escapes me. But I happen to have him absorb in hand, so it was fine. Phew. But yeah, so that's round 1. Mike, it looks like he's still playing, even though they just announced only like 7 minutes left. So I guess you might hear from him in the next round. After the next round,
4 rounds for sure.
oh okay. So they're doing it right. Good. All right. So more after round 2. It's captive audience. All right. Don't tweet at me.
All right, so I won my round 2-1. Hold this. I played against Mahesh, I think is his name.
What was he playing?
He was playing. He had a Rakdos box, but he was really just playing Orzhov, and he had some red splash. He got some really good flyers and afterlife cards in black and white, and that was giving me quite a bit of trouble during every game, just because I didn't have much to say against flyers. But one really key player in my deck is the Riot creature. It's a 4-drop. It's a 2/2, and it has Riot, and it also has Menace. And Menace matters a whole lot.
Menace matters.
Yeah, when your opponent just has tiny creatures, and especially if you're able to, they make an attack, they leave 2 people up, you use a removal spell to take out one, and then you get in with the other Menace guy. And in game 3, I also got to play that Viashino guy. He's I can't remember the names of the cards yet. It's the 1/3 who pings your opponent whenever they activate an ability that isn't a mana ability. Ooh.
Yeah.
And you can pay 5 to give him +3/+3 in Menace until end of turn. So he's a 4/6 Menace, which is great. What is awesome.
And you just got done saying Menace matters.
Yes. But yeah, trying to remember details. That Raise Boar spell that deals 4 damage to one creature and 2 damage to all the other person's creatures. There's a reason it costs 6, because it is amazing.
Yeah.
It kills a lot of stuff. It kills 2 things almost every time. It kills 3 things, maybe more often than I would prefer. But it was pretty awesome. He was using that against me, and it messed me up a few times. It really messed me up in game 2 to put me off of the creatures that I needed. He got the 6/5 that has to attack every turn, and I just wasn't able to keep enough people on the board to throw in front of it. And he finally got me.
I just put it in, but I was trying to get my curve down.
Right. One thing that I wasn't sure about at the beginning, but I think I will keep in the deck, the Spear Spewer, the 0/2 defender that costs 1 red that deals 1 damage to each person. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Because in game 3, I don't think it hurt me much in game 2 in terms of damaging my game plan. But in game 3, it brought us down low enough to where, when it was finally off the board, he had just, like the previous turn, played the big Orzhov creature, the 4/4 with Afterlife 3. Okay, so what had happened? I'd killed it earlier. Then he attacked me with some of the tokens, and he played that get 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand spell with Spectacle.
Right.
To get that, and the big-ass crocodile that had also been bothering me back in his hand. And he had enough mana to play that Spectacle spell and the big Orzhov Afterlife guy in the same turn.
That's a lot of mana.
It was not. Like, I actually counted his land. I'm like, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Damn.
Jesus.
And
all those records were expunged.
so he was at 2, I was at 4 or 5 or something like that.
Okay.
And on his previous turn, he had attacked with the big guy and played a Pegasus, so he still had, Pegasus Spirit sitting up back to block. And I still had that 1/3 Viashino guy sitting on the board. So I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I had the the Menace Riot guy in my hand. I just didn't have it. It was just a couple turns ago. I didn't have an opportunity time to play it. But then the next card I drew was a green creature with Menace. It's a 4-drop. It's a 2, not Menace, Riot.
Right, there you
It's a 4-drop. It's a 2/2, and when it attacks, it gives another creature +X/+0, where X is its power.
Right.
So I was able to. I had enough mana to play the 2/2 Menace Riot. I chose Haste. Play the 2/2 Pump Guy Riot. I chose Haste. Attack with everybody. Give the +2/+0 to the Viashino guy, so he didn't have enough blockers to stop me, and I was able to deal the last points of damage
Nice. Well played.
at the last minute.
Second round pairings are up.
Oh, cool!
Well, we should go then.
Yeah,
All right, more after round 2 then.
And it should be going.
We're good? Okay. All right, this is the Brian and Mike show. Hi, Mike. We're the Gruul guys.
Yes, we are.
Woo! So Chewie is still playing what looks to be a very intense game 2. It looks like from
Very
his
intense.
scoreboard, he has won game 1. He's on game 2. The opponent has a Tesa and multiple spirits out, but then Chewie top deck the Azorius flying 3/3 that gives all his opponent's creatures -1/-0. So that
Yikes.
shut that down. But his opponent has a creature out equipped with the Screaming Shield, so he's milling Chewie, and Chewie's not sure he can get there in time.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just looking at that.
He may need to just go and go to game 3, but we're not going to question his judgment. We're going to question our own. So how did you do?
I lost. It was very, very close, but I lost.
Who did you play against?
I played against Kenneth, and he was playing Simic, and he had a lot of good blue and green creatures. So good for him.
Good.
Let's see. His creatures were just bigger than mine, and also he had the Sharkter Crab. I lost pretty hard to the Sharkter Crab.
Shark Crab is ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's really big, 4/4 for 4, and then it gets significantly bigger. Like 5/5 is a lot around here, and
These parts.
the ability that locks something down is really important.
Yeah.
Because since it's anytime it gets a +1/+1 counter, he was even able to use it with other tricks, like the thing where just for 1 green you untap a creature and put a +1/+1 counter on it. He was able to use that as a trick with the Sharkter Crab.
I heard
To get me.
I heard a story from a player that was here yesterday that he faced down an opponent who had a Shark Crab and a Simic Ascendancy.
Yikes!
Yeah. Think about that for a sec.
I'd rather not.
Okay. Did you lose in 2 games or 3?
3 games. Mhm.
I played against Matt. He was on white, black, red. He was pretty heavily in Orzhov, but he did have some red cards. And game 1, I kept a 2-land opening hand, 2 mountains, and my only red card was the Spear Spewer. But I had everybody say, but I had such a great hand, and he also had to mull to 5. So I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't bad. But he was able to play drops. I didn't get another land until turn 4, and it was a tapped Rakdos, Gilgate, which is mostly in here for another red source. Doesn't help me cast any of the green spells in my hand. And he was able to play a 2-drop, then a Tesa, and then something else. It didn't even matter. And I'm like, yeah, we're done here.
Yep.
Game 2, I'm going first, and I'm able to get off to a much better start. He's also stuck on 3 mana for a while. He felt like he had a good curve, but I had removal, and so I'm like, blow that up, get in with my Riot guys. The Spellbreaker is for just as a 3/3 with haste. The hexproof has not even really mattered yet.
Yeah.
It's just a 3/3 with haste. And then I was able to just kind of run him over. Honestly, I skewered the critics. Was able to use my Spear Spewer to spew spears all over the place.
I really like Spear Spear.
It's really good. They didn't do anything from that first game, but the second game for me was more just
Yeah.
he didn't really get what he needed.
Spear Spear was how I won my game in that last round.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we had a much more even game 3, but once again I was able to go turn 3 Spellbreaker. I think I removed a creature before then. Turn 4, follow it up, and then so he kills it on his turn with his Skewer the Critics.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, untap, play my Arnix or Lyrics or whatever, the 3/3 that has the activated +3/+0. I don't think I haven't activated that yet, but it's nice to have it there.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, stop that. I'm like, no, get in for 3. And I played another removal spell the next turn and played a Spear Skewer. He looks at his hand He has about 5 or 6 mana at this point, and he passes.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh. So I get in for 3 with my guy. I'm holding the spider in my hand, the 5-drop 3/5 spider, and I almost tapped all my mana for it. And I'm like, go. And he untaps, he says, all right, well, I'm just going to do it. And he played the Wrath. And I'm like, yes. So at the end of your turn, I play Regenesis to get these 2 3/3s with haste from my graveyard back to my hand.
Nice.
Do you know Regenesis?
No.
For 5 green mana, for 3 and 2 green mana, it's an instant. Return 2 permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, it's an instant.
It's an instant. So, and he's like, and he even said, nice, and I'm like, thank you. So I got my guys with Riot back, drew a card, played my 7th land, threw both of them back on the board, and attacked.
Nice.
He put down some more guys. I played my 5/5 frog guy that your guys with +1/+1 counters on have trample, which didn't even really matter. It's a 5/5
Yeah.
for 5, which is really good. And like the turn after that, he didn't have anything. He did play a Teysa at one point. I ran a 3/3 into it. He's like, do you have it? I'm like, yeah, here's my hard cast, Skewer the Critics, because we're not having that. Because Teysa is a problem.
Yeah.
I think she's a big reason that so many people here are Orzhov. And I don't know about you, listener, but everybody here wanted to be Orzhov. I asked for it ahead of time because I've always enjoyed those colors. Apparently they're where the value are. It's kind of like Golgari in the last set where everybody wanted the Golgari pre-release because of trophy, Assassin's
cards you
Trophy
get.
and all that. Yeah. So I'm 2-1. No, I'm 2-0. You are 1-1.
Yes, I am.
And Chewie looks like he is starting game 3. So we will be back at you later.
All right, round 2 is over, and I'm exhausted. I played against Zach, who is awesome, even though he's friends with this imposter over here. So you guys know I'm Chewie, right? But for those that, not you, but for those that don't know, like my real name is Jason Slate. That's hi, I'm Jason. Except I'm not, I'm Chewie. But there's a person who plays here all the time whose name is Mason Slate, because he's a filthy imposter. But he's not good enough to actually get the name right. You're not good at impostering me. Impostering?
My dude, you're like a wet cardboard cutout of me.
I am.
So before you start coming at me,
It's not wet, it's moist.
before you start coming at me,
It is. And you liked it, didn't you?
like a Philistine, he comes at me with his Satan.
But yeah, round 2, Zach was playing Orzhov, and in the first, I don't even remember what happened in the first game. His life total just drops. I think I got flyers and punched him in the face a lot. And then usually, yeah. And then in the second game, he got out a Teysa, and we ended up in a giant board stall.
I love your guy, the flyer that gives this guy's -1/-.
Yeah, I had that.
Shutting down his spirit.
I had that 6-drop that gives all of my opponent's creatures -1/-0, the 3/3 flyer. And yeah, but he had the Screaming Shield, so he just, in a long, stupid game, he milled me out. And in the next game, I got a turn 4 high alert when I had a 1/3 and a 2/3, and just hit him in the face till he died.
Importantly, one of those was a flyer, so you were able to...
Yeah, he played a turn 5, Gate Colossus, whatever it was. He had 4 gates, so it was a 4-cost 8/8, but I was already far enough ahead that it luckily didn't matter. And yeah, it was Azorius aggro in game 3. So, like, game 2 took so long, and games 1 and 3 were like half of that combined. It was ridiculous. So, I'm 2-0, Mike is 1-1, Brian is 2-0. All right. So, Brian, I'll see you next round? Probably, yeah.
Then you can smash me in the air with flyers.
I'll smash him in the air with flyers.
That'll be interesting.
That's hot. So, and I got to hang out here with Zach and Mason, and who are you?
I'm Wes.
And Wes, and these guys ain't right, so I enjoyed this round a lot.
How far is the audio tracking on that? Do they catch me like insulting you on your own podcast?
I hope so, because it was really funny.
That feels kind of rude.
That's the best part.
Yeah,
God.
in case you didn't hear it, he said that I was a wet cardboard cutout of him. Like, what? No, it's moist at least. Like, come on, man. I got a dry towel and wiped it off first. Wiped myself off. It was pretty great, yeah.
Say it. It's moist. Have you reported yet?
Anyway, so yeah, I told him already. So now we're gonna wait till round 3.
Moist. Brian Baker coming at you again after round 3. Well, round 3 is technically going on. I got to play against Jeremiah, and he was running white-black. There might have been a small blue splash. There was a small blue splash, as far as I can tell. And in game 1, I did what my deck does. I played 3 3s with haste and ran him over, and I had just the right removal spells at the right time. I don't really know what else to say about it. That's literally how it played out. Sometimes Gruul just gets and smashes. I'm liking my deck more and more. Game 2, he was on the play, and he got out some early stuff. Once again, I had some removal. I played a turn 1 hasty little goblin that you can pay a red, and it can't be blocked except by creatures with defender. Start getting in early, and the damage added up quite a bit. And I played a turn 2 Cinder Vines. Mike also got a Cinder Vines. It was for both of our decks. It was the promo. He elected not to put it in his main deck. I respect that. I have never been sad to have it in my hand. I have never. It dinged him, I think, for a total of 1 non-creature spell that he played. And then later he played the white-black enchantment. That's a glorious anthem for his guys. -1/-1 for me. So it knocked out my goblin. And he swung with his 2/5, then a 3/6 that can't be blocked, and I used the Cinder Vines to blow up the enchantment. So it saved me some damage. It did a little more damage to him. Meanwhile, I'm tapping my Spear Spewer every turn, and he plays 2 guys with 2 of the thralls that suck 2 life out of me. But I managed to blow both of them up, so we're really going back and forth. The life totals keep going up and down. Well, mine doesn't really go up. His keeps going up a little bit and then down a little bit, and I'm finally able to break through. When I play, he had tapped out for his enchantment, swung with his guy. I blew up his enchantment. I untapped. I had 7 mana. I played my 7th mana the turn before, but it was tapped. So I was able to play my 6/6 with Trample and Haste, because so far I've used Haste for Riot literally every single time. He blocks with his 2/5, untaps, plays 2 3/1s, 3/1 creatures, one of which is the vampire with lifelink. And so I swing into him, use a combat trick, the split card, the green split card, to give it +4/+2 to survive. He draws his next card and scoops. And so, yeah, 3-0. Back to you, Chewie.
All right, so I'm also done. And like Brian, I also won my round. This one went pretty quick. I got it 2-0. My opponent was playing Azorius, and really the key thing was just getting past his blockers and using combat tricks to do it. I really like that I kept in all the fight spells that I did, because they ended up being really critical in terms of getting things out of the way and keeping my advantage on the board. Because unless I'm playing another Gruul or Simic player, my creatures are just bigger, so they win the fights every time.
I actually have 2 copies of that one that's cheaper when it targets a creature with a ++.
Yeah, same here.
I'm actually not running any of them because I've just got more straight removal.
Yeah, if you have better, more effective stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the other options I had 2 copies of I think I've said this into the mic already. I had 2 copies of the 6-drop. Kill that, they lose 2 life, but my deck really doesn't want a 6 mana kill spell.
No, and that costs 2 or 1 if it's a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah, which matters a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there have been times where I've decided to just play a riot creature with a +1/+1 counter and just spend 1 green mana to smack something.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well. My favorite creature to have it enter with a +1/+1 counter instead of haste is the Beastmaster, that when it attacks, it gives another creature +X/+O, where X is its power.
Nice. For the first time this round, I didn't say this in the recording, I know it's your turn, but for the first time, my Smasher, my Clan Smasher, or whatever he's called, giving me hexproof and giving himself hexproof during my turn mattered.
Oh, wow.
Because it just had not come up. I don't know whether opponents just read it and said, okay, I'm not going to blow it up or what. but I played it, attacked. Okay, he passed with 3 mana up. I attacked, he tried to mortify it, and I'm like, sorry, it doesn't work.
Man.
And so I played another 3/2 that when it entered the battlefield, it gained me 2 life, thinking, okay, he'll blow up the smasher on his turn, I'll still have a 3 power guy. And he went ahead and blew up the other one, I guess so he'd have the mana on his turn.
I guess.
But I kept my 3/3 with trample, so yeah. And it hasn't mattered yet, but it would also shut off something like targeted player discard or something.
Right.
If I have hexproof, I realize that this only matters during my turn for him. But
Yeah.
if I have hexproof, can I be enchanted with the crowd thing?
They can't cast it on you, but it'll still stick to you. If it's already on you, it won't fall off.
Right.
Hexproof doesn't do that.
Right.
But if they somehow cast it on you during your turn, that doesn't work.
Or if I just have hexproof do some other effect, Witchbane Orb or something, then
Wait a minute. What does Captive Audience say?
I don't know.
Does it say enchant opponent, or does it
Listeners
say?
are just like,
Yeah.
screw it. It might say.
I think it enters. I think it says it enters the battlefield under an opponent's control.
Okay.
That's what it says. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm sorry. Let's get back to your actual games. I apologize.
So yeah, the Beastmaster was very important. Fight spells were very important, and so was the Menace. The Menace on the 4-drop red guy and on the Viashino guy. The Menace makes a lot of difference in terms of just pushing through.
He's been one of your
Raw
all-stars,
damage.
hasn't he?
Yeah, I love both of them. Again, I usually don't have too many details to share about limited games. My opponent played, so my opponent was able to come up with the mana to play a Domri, even though he was playing Azorius. So he came up with a mana to play a Domri. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I had what did I have? I had the Frog Warrior guy, the Battletoad. I don't remember what his actual name is.
I don't know,
With
but
the
that's
dash.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now that's what I'm picturing. Is it
Where-
the guy that when he comes in, he moves the counters around?
No, that's the guy. The guy I'm talking about is the 5/5 that everyone with a
5/5
+1/+1
for 5?
counter
Yeah.
gets trampled.
He's awesome, and now I can't not see Zitz.
Yeah. So I attacked with that. He blocked with one of his. I attacked Domri with the guy.
Yeah.
He was still a 5/5. He blocked with one of his 3 toughness creatures, and I was able to adapt the Battletoad and use the fight spell on him to kill the blocker, so all the trample damage spilled over onto Domri and killed him
Nice.
before he was able to really do anything or start getting out of hand.
Because Domri will do that.
Yes, very easily.
Yeah. Props to your opponent for playing Domri in his Azorius deck.
Yeah, it was pretty baller. But
Are there any cards in your deck that you have not seen today?
I haven't seen the enchantment that gives all my creatures riot. Haven't seen that.
I have a 1-drop green guy in my deck.
Yeah.
You tap them and tap another untapped creature you control to produce a mana of any color.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if it would slow me down too much or not. I need to make sure it's still in the deck because I have yet to draw it after 3 rounds.
Yeah, and I think you'll want to know whether your deck actually wants that card.
I don't know that I need it.
Yeah. I ended
I'm
up
gonna look right now.
Yeah. While I was sideboarding during the first round, I found a leftover card that I should have taken out before. I just wasn't paying attention. I still had a green creature with an activated blue ability, but I didn't have any blue sources left in the deck.
I have not seen my Rick's Matty Reveler yet. Which, I mean, if I haven't needed it, I haven't needed it.
Right.
The Battletoad is the Troll-bred Guardian.
Troll-bred Guardian, there we go.
I came in like a wrecking beast. This guy is awesome. I'm so
Man,
glad.
I wish I had Wrecking Beast.
I'm so glad. I was like, oh, he's expensive, but no, doesn't even matter, man. The Saruli Caretaker, I have not seen.
Yeah, I don't know if your deck wants it.
No, I mean, what am I powering out early? And that I have to tap another creature for it.
Yeah.
Watch now, I'm going to take it out and it's going to ruin the next game for me. Titanic Brawl is what you're talking about?
Titanic Brawl is what I'm talking about. I like it a lot. Territorial boar. Depends on. I ended up.
My guys are 3.
I started with a territorial boar in my list, and then I reevaluated my creatures, and I took it out. Oh, the Rebel Belt Recluse might be a good option.
Yeah. This could help me in the last game, but I'm not always attacking with a little.
Yeah, the Cavalcade of Calamity. Yeah, you need to check that first. No, Storm Stride. Yeah, maybe just a random Scorch Mark or random Act of Treason. Maybe random Scorch Mark would be better.
Scorch Mark, yeah. Yeah, I think, and I'm heavier on red than green. It's pretty close because of some double green in some of my stuff, but I have more red cards.
Yeah.
So taking out another green for red, and I've got 3 Gruul guild gates and 2 Rakdos guild gates.
Yeah.
So I'm good on red. So another Scorch Mark, more removal. Woo!
Yeah, I ended up not using any of the amulet, whatever the hex, those mana rocks.
I'm not using any either.
Yeah, because I had 2 guild gates each of Gruul and Rakdos, so I was good on that. Huh? Yeah, it's still recording.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That was round 3.
Yep.
And you'll hear from Chewie in a bit if he's got time.
Yep. All right. Closing stop.
Man, so round 3 for me is now over. You heard from them at great length. What were you guys talking about?
Brian had more stories to tell.
Oh, okay. I just played an Azorius. Oh, we're gonna say mirror, but his was an actual Azorius deck as opposed to the Flyers deck. And really, it was the first game was Senate Guild Mage and the stupid Sphinx of the Guild Pact that just kept him alive and kept me, and the Ethereal Absolution. Jesus Christ, where he made blockers for days and shrunk my dudes. And then in the second game, I got off to a slow. When I played that second turn. Plaza pay for it. Those were my only 2 lands, but my hand was full of 2 drops, and I was like, and I managed to draw out of it, but I just couldn't get any traction against your stuff. And I absorbed his Ethereal Absolution in the second game. I know what it looks like. But when I paid 6 for the Swirling Torrent to get 2 of his guys from off the board to keep them from killing me, including the 6/6 guy with Adapt and Defender that adapts for 3. What? Scuttlegator. The Scuttlegator. I bounced it to the top of his library and bounced another dude, which left me with only 2 mana, so I couldn't counter his Sphinx of the Guild Pact when he played it, and I don't have a way to deal with it once it hits the board in this deck, so I just scooped. So well played, sir. It was brutal. It makes my ass itch. I played Zagana and adapted her, and she never hit him because he was like, exile a dude, make a blocker block, and I'm like,
That's exactly what you would do.
Yeah.
Doesn't she have trample?
Oh my God, she does have trample.
She gives all your creatures the plus.
Wow, you died so many times because neither of us can read. I lied, I can't read. Remember?
Did she have a +1/+1 counter?
She had 4 on her, yeah.
Then yes, she had trample.
Oh my God, we're both stupid.
Play a third game.
So what?
Play a third game.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I would have lost.
Sure, why not? Okay, be right back. Okay, so round 3's over for real now. Corey was awesome enough. We didn't realize that Zagana had trample when she had counters because we're both dumb apparently. And he offered a game 3, which I took him up on, and it ended up in a draw, so I let him have it. It was a much better game, I think. Yeah. I was actually able to do things, and he didn't just stop me cold, but that's Senate Guild Mage, man. That thing is brutal. It's gain 2 life. Damn it, gain 2 life. Damn it. Okay, I don't need to gain life. Draw some cards. Come on. But yeah, Ethereal Absolution is borderline busted in Limited. What is busted in Limited? There's no borderline to it. But yeah, he stalled me out, so that was pretty good. You should tell him that you got it, though. But yeah, I have nothing else to report other than read your freaking cards. Don't be like Chewie. Read your cards. Cards are important. They have words on them. Okay, so more later.
So it's Brian once again, after round 4, final round, finally actually got to play against another aggro deck. Game 1, I'm on the play, and I don't really know what to say except that I got a bit mana flooded. He was on Rakdos, and he was heavy Rakdos. Had some early guys, he had some removal, and I kept drawing lands. At the end of the game, I showed him the 3 lands in my hand, and that was it. Game 2 was much more back and forth. Luckily, I was able to get out some Riot for some early damage, and then actually played a Riot creature with a +1/+1 counter on it for the first time all day because he had out a bigger creature. He had out the 6/5 that had to attack. It had just freshly been played, so I didn't want to run my 3/3 into it. It's the 3/3 that can pump, so I made it a 4/4. So he swings, and then he plays his Mythic Dragon with Riot, and I'm like, oh, I hadn't seen that one before. So it's a 5/5. So I'm looking at my hand. I'm like, okay. So I untap and draw a Skewer the Critics. I swing in. He doesn't block. I pump it. He's like, so how much am I taking? I think he thought it was a +2/+0. I'm like, no, it's +3. And then it has a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's 7. And he was at 10, so he goes to 3, and Skewer finishes him off. He's like, oh, and he looks a little stunned, but, nice about it. And we shuffle up, and he goes first in the last game, and it's back and forth a little bit like the second game. And I proceed to draw no removal whatsoever, but I do draw lots and lots of lands. Sometimes 17 lands feels like a lot. So he won. I got some packs. I had a fantastic time. Hope everyone has enjoyed their pre-release experiences. And Gruul Smash. Take it away, Chewie.
So I just finished round 4 playing against Kenneth. He's the guy that beat Mike in round 2. But, unlike me, Mike deserved it. So in both games, you got out a turn 2. What's he called?
Incubation Druid.
The Incubation Druid. And both times he put counters on it for cheap. Once with a counter, my Zagana put a counter on a thing. Hey, Sam, you want to say hi to people?
Hello.
What? That's my recorder.
This is for what we do at home on the computer.
Yeah, this is my microphone. Sam came in to say hi.
She's hungry. We're going to get some food.
Dude, I'm hungry. Would you get me some food while you're out?
No. I love that guy, by the way. Was he good for you?
The one time that I played him, yeah, he was insane.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Have a good night. We'll talk about getting together soon.
Okay. Bye, bro. Bye, Sam. Can I have another hug?
Go away. Bye. Go away.
Can I give a hug? Oh. Okay, bye.
Is that the guy that gives everybody -1?
Yeah. Yeah, that's who I could have played last game, but it wouldn't have mattered.
I'm glad I didn't have to play against that guy.
So yeah, in the first game, you countered my spell, my Zagana, and put a counter on your dude, and then tapped him for 3 mana, and horrible things happened. And then in the second game, I put him on top of your library, and then
Locked one of your creatures with him and then adapted him.
yeah, he blocked a creature and adapted it, and I put it back on top of his library later, and then he played it and used. He tapped it for 1 mana to put Stony Strength, something like that. He tapped it for 1 mana to cast the green, give a creature a +1/+1 counter, and then tap it. So put a counter on it, untapped it, and then tapped it for 3 blue and played the guy that locked down a guy, and it was awful. It was awful. He just beat the crap out of me both games. It was brutal. The first game I had mana issues. I couldn't get above. I think at the end I drew a 5th one, I think. And in this deck I really need mana. And then in the second game it just didn't matter. He's like, no, here's stuff. Because it turns out accelerating to tapping a dude for 3 mana is really good in sealed. It's like really, Mike's still playing. It's really good. So yeah, Brian left, and I played Kenneth. Kenneth's awesome. And I guess, is there anything? Like nothing interesting happened in that game other than what you did. I didn't do anything. I was like, nah.
The owl prevented a lot of the damage.
Yeah, I did. I had an owl block and die. Yay. I just realized what this playmat is. It's an Amonkhet playmat with giant bolus horns, and whichever god that is, I forget, the crocodile god. Yeah, but I forget the name.
Bantu.
Yeah, there we go, Bantu. But anyway, so that was round 4. I ended up 2-2 with the least popular guild, which is way out of my comfort zone. Like I'm not a blue guy at all. But blue-white control. One, I actually do have high alert, and I got to play it 2 games. One of those games was and just smash people because I had like 2 1/3 flyers and the 1/4 owl. Yeah, it was brutal. But I didn't see it again ever. So
I was watching a game where that got countered by the lizard wizard.
That sounds brutal.
Yeah. He had 2 of the Pegasus out, and then he had Humongulous out, and he went to Windmill Slam, High Alert, and Lizard Wizard came out. Yeah. He still wound up winning
What
just
is
from the 1-3.
Frilled Mystic?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the new Mystic Snake.
The Lizard Wizard.
Buh. Alright, well, I guess I'll stop there and we'll get Mike once he's done, and then we'll do a wrap-up thing, and then I'll throw it over to Editing Chewie to read off all the patron stuff and whatnot. So, bye!
All right, so the end of round 4. I didn't read the sheet. I lost to Corey.
Corey. Yes,
Corey?
sir.
Okay. Good.
Yes, sir.
Lost to Corey. Corey was playing Azorius. I can't remember whether you were splashing a 3rd color.
No, sir.
No. Okay. But yes,
I
the
wasn't
flyer.
fortunate enough to get good enough cards to splash.
So in game 1, he got the high alert and started like murdering me with the Pegasus. And that I'd forgotten about this guy. It costs 5. It's a 2/5 with vigilance that can't be blocked.
Holy crap.
So
That's
yeah,
insane.
the Azorius Night Arbiter.
combo.
So with the high alert, it's just like
That's pretty awesome.
Mingucci did that on stream during the Ravnica Allegiance preview thing, and I was like, if that ever comes together, that's a sick combo.
because with 5 toughness, the fight-based removal I had just didn't work very well. It just takes a lot of work to get up to 5.
And with a high alert, it crushed your skull.
Yes, it did. So that was part of the reason why in game 3, that's part of the reason why in game 3 I sided in 2 Consigned to the Pit, which felt like too slow because since I was on the play in game 2, I felt like I just needed to be fast and I didn't want a 6-drop spell in there.
At 6 mana, having unconditional sorcerer speed removal isn't too bad. Plus, the extra 2 damage is nice, but by the time you get to 6, a lot of decks like mine that are tempo based, you're already facing down 3 or 4 creatures potentially.
Yeah, and because game 2 took so long, and I was at like 10 or 11 mana by the time it ended, then I knew that I really had to bring in the Consign to the Pit for game 3.
Game 2, we're playing Drago for about 5 or 6 turns in a row.
You're not playing the right colors for that, Mike.
No, I'm not.
Idiot.
But there was one really key thing in game 3 that made a lot of difference. I played I can't remember what creature I played. Oh, I was playing that demon with spectacle, the 4/2, and when you pay the spectacle cost, when he comes in, your opponent discards a card. But he countered it with the thing that also mills 3, and it got 3 really good creatures off the top of my deck. I was very disappointed.
I still discarded the card. I just paid mana and spent it as a spell.
Right.
Yeah, that mill. I mean, I have a 3rd one in my sideboard that I'm not using because 3 is kind of much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sometimes it makes a huge difference.
You ended up 2-2, right?
I did end up 2-2, yes.
Is it only 4 rounds?
Yeah.
It's only 4 rounds, yeah.
Okay, well I guess I'll go get my 3/1 pass.
Yep. I guess I should do the same thing too.
Have y'all seen the new store that opened up in Greensboro?
Not yet.
I just heard about it. I haven't gone over there yet.
It's like Lucky's 2.0.
Yeah, he helped them set it up,
Yeah.
and I think they got a lot of his equipment. From him.
They did. Like it's like you walk in and it's like everything's to the left and all this stuff. The only thing that's missing is like the cool artwork on the wall.
It's a shame that when he closed,
That is too bad. Yeah, because that was pretty sweet.
Another one rises from the ashes, like a rekindling phoenix. That's like a
Yes,
card,
exactly.
right?
Or, yeah, whatever Phoenix you want. There's so many these days. And
Phoenix tribal.
have you seen the one that's seeing Modern Hand standard play?
Oh, Arclight.
Arclight, that's
Arclight
the one.
Phoenix, yeah.
Jesus.
Baby.
Hey,
Have you
are
seen
we
the
done with the
animation for that on
recap?
Arena?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, we'll do a roundup in a minute.
Okay.
All right, we are done with the Ravnica Allegiance pre-release at House of Cards in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And we're now driving back to my place. Yay, my place. Where Mike informs me that I don't have to leave my pants on.
That's true. It's your house, your rules.
Wait, my rules.
Yeah.
Does that mean like you have to take yours off too? Like,
Yeah, I really didn't consider the full implications of that.
sucker. So yeah, did Sam come say hi to you?
She did.
Oh, okay.
I was glad she did.
I couldn't remember if she ran past me or not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're on the way back to my place. The long way because Business 40's freaking closed. I guess I could have gone that way to go to 40. That seems really awkward,
Maybe.
though.
I mean, you still need to get off the interstate and go around downtown for a bit before you come back, right?
well, no, not downtown. It's just like a whoop. But
Really?
I always forget that it's there. So I'm just gonna go up here and get ahead a couple exits. Screw it. Anyway, they don't care about my driving. They care about magic. So, what do we have? How did you have fun?
I did have fun.
Did I have fun?
Sounded like you did.
Okay, good.
But yeah, if I was to make my choice for the event again, I might have picked Simic. Just have more bigger, better creatures.
Nice.
Gruul was fun. It was very fun. Then the riot mechanic, the way it played out, really reminded me of Blood Rush, which I also enjoyed.
Yeah.
You get your choice of sticking something to the board or having a surprise. Except in this time with Riot, the surprise, you also get something on the board. So,
Hey.
yeah.
Wait, Blood Rush?
Blood Rush. What'd I say?
I don't know if you said Blood Rush or Bloodthirst.
Okay. Pretend I said the right one.
But yeah. Which one's the Blood Rush is the right one, right?
Yeah, Blood Rush is the correct one.
Yeah, okay.
Bloodthirst was the original Gruul mechanic that was brought back in a core set.
Yeah, for vampires.
For black-red vampires.
Yeah.
And other stuff. And ogres and dragons and whatnot.
So what about blood? Insert witty word here. Never mind. Yeah, I think if I had picked my own instead of just saying just give me the least popular one,
Uh-huh.
I would have gone Rakdos because it's me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As it was, though, I really enjoyed the Azorius deck I built because it was
Yeah, it was good.
flyers with a high alert, and the time the high alert popped out, it was amazing. And that's pretty much it. The time the high alert popped out, it was amazing.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed that 6-drop that gave all of my opponent's creatures -1/-0.
Yep. It has first strike.
It has first strike.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Stupid.
Uh-huh.
And had I realized that Ghana had trample, that first game in round 3 would have been much different.
Yeah.
And what bothers me about that is I realized it in the first game of the first round when I played it.
Oh, uh-huh.
Or maybe it was the second round. He had the 3/7 crocodile, and he put
Right.
the screaming shield on it, or some equipment that gave it 10 ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's big enough to block my trampling Zagana, damn it.
He was really nice to
Yeah.
give you the third game.
Yeah, that's why I just gave him the win.
Because, like, the damage assignment, pretending it didn't have trample, was legal, so he was well with... There definitely wasn't anything compelling him to go back and
like I
get
said,
rid
I
of
was perfectly fine with just going, oh, well, I'm stupid.
it. Yeah.
And it worked. We're both stupid, and it worked out in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, want to play 3? I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But like I said, when it happened, when it came to a draw, there was no reason to take a draw in a pre-release format
that's
where
just dumb.
everyone gets a payout based on their record, and it's 1 pack per win. So, like, why deprive both of us of an extra pack, you know?
Yeah.
So I did the gentlemanly thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pulled a foil immolation shaman,
Ooh.
and my pre-release card was the shiny was an absorb,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a Zagana and a Vanifar. Hello. And a hallowed fountain,
Right.
and the Tome of the Guild Pact, I want to say.
Yes, Tome of the Guild Pact.
Yeah. Yeah. So my haul was all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a couple.
Oh, and the menacing pestilent spirit, something like that gives your instant and sorcery spells death touch.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had that too.
That's really cool.
And he's also got menace,
Mm-hmm.
and I think death touch, maybe.
Maybe. That sounds right.
Pestilent spirit, I think that's right.
It is something like that. I can see the art.
Yeah, it's pestilent something. I remember that because that's a word that I remember in Magic. So yeah, what else did you get that was?
What else
something?
did I get? Stuff that didn't make it into my deck. I got a Hallowed Fountain. I got a Godless Shrine. Yeah. I got the mythic octopus that can make illusions. The blue one.
Cool.
That was cool. Trying to remember what else. I'm trying to remember what rares actually made it into my deck.
Is the Rhythm of the Wild a rare?
No, it's uncommon.
Jesus.
Yeah. That was really sad that I didn't even draw it until that very last game of the last round. And the only thing it did was give the Spear Spewer a +1/+1 counter. And I'm like, what?
Yay!
Yeah, I didn't have any more creatures in my hand, and I drew my next card, and I actually said out loud, "Are you serious?" I couldn't help it. I couldn't stop the words coming out of my mouth. I'm like, ugh.
It was a land, wasn't it?
Huh?
That last card you drew?
No, well, it was. Oh, the very last card I drew.
Yeah. When you said, "Are you serious?"
No, that was when I drew the Spear Spewer.
Oh, okay. I thought that was when you drew your next card.
No. But yeah, that would have been. Sometimes milling only has a whatever impact, but sometimes it has a big impact. And the mill he got off of that counter spell had a big impact because it got, like I said earlier, it got rid of 3 really good creatures that I would have loved to have at that point in the game.
Yeah. In that game where I got milled out, the dude milled every one of my green mana sources, but one that I was the stupid locket. Of course, the one I have to pay for. I finally drew it and blew up his flyer and all of his little spirits.
Right.
With the green spell that kills the flyer and deals 1 to all their other flyers. But it didn't matter because by then I had 1 turn left and then I was gonna deck. So piss. But I don't think I had any enchantment or artifact removal in my colors.
There isn't very much.
Well, that would explain it then, yeah.
When I try to think about it, I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of obvious things. People are yelling into their phones right now. But there's a white card that exiles enchantments. I know there's a green common or uncommon that kills an artifact or enchantment. There's Cinder Vines at rare. But I don't think there's a creature that has an end of the battlefield ability that does that or anything like that. I don't think there's I can't remember if there's any riot guys that break an artifact when they come in. I can't remember if there's any
I don't know.
Simic things that destroy something when they adapt or whatever. I just don't remember right now. I can't think of anything. But it has been a while since I last looked at the full list.
And I never did, so.
It's interesting. Yeah, I can't remember what rares actually ended up in my deck. Maybe I need to go back and look to see whether I was being stupid and I should have just audibled to Esper or something with the land base and some of the other stuff I got. I don't know. I had fun though. I felt like the deck was good.
Yeah. I think my black and red were okay. Not black and red. My black and green were okay. But I don't think I had enough stuff in the other 3 colors to build as good a deck as my blue-white one.
Right.
and cutting one of those two colors for one of the others, it just didn't seem like it would have been as strong. Because I looked at that, I flipped through stuff, I'm like, nope, this is out.
Yeah.
Like my red, I didn't get any of the really good stuff.
Yeah, red in limited for me is usually not that great either. And that's another reason why I'm thinking maybe I should have just picked Simic, because I know that I just usually don't care to even try red in limited, and it usually doesn't seem very good.
I don't know.
There are some great red cards if you can get them. It has some good creatures like that Mana Sky with Riot. It has some great spells like that Raise Board thing. That's basically, magic swipe.
It kind of is, yeah. Huh. Alright, and Brian went balls to the wall aggro and ended up 3-1, losing only to another aggro deck.
Yeah, that was even more aggro.
And he said he got what in his deck was flooded.
Oh yeah, that too.
So yeah, I think I know that the Teysa in a deck with any afterlife creatures is just busted.
Yeah.
And Ethereal Absolution in limited is absolutely busted. Especially in sealed. That was just awful. And yeah, that's all I got. Like, I didn't see anything else that was overpowered at all. Nothing was other than Teysa and the Absolution.
Right.
I faced 2 Teysas and 2 Absolutions over the course of the day.
Yikes.
Luckily, only together once.
I don't remember exactly what Absolution does. What is it?
Your creatures get +1/+1. Your opponent's creatures get -1/-1, and pay 2 a black and a white to exile a card from an opponent's graveyard. If it's a creature, get a spirit.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Thing is nasty. And again, I didn't have any enchantment removal to remove the enchantment, so. So yeah, it was pretty bad. I guess with that, we'll be done. You got anything you can add? Anything at the end? Any final thoughts? Anything?
No, nothing that comes to mind.
Fair enough. Me either, because I'm tired and hungry and kind of funny looking. And man, this back tooth feels so weird. Like, today, it started feeling weird in a different way. So that sucks. Excuse me, passing people on the highway. So I've spent all day making weird faces, and my opponent looks at me funny. I'm like, sorry, I just had a tooth extracted, and my face is weird. But, alright, with that, I will throw it over to editing Chewie, so he can do all the damn work. Ha, loser. And, read off the lifeguard list and all that other stuff and tell you what else he's doing. So, take it away, Eric the orchestra leader. I swear I don't know why he says that. No one gets it, and the ones that do don't think it's funny. But whatever you say, recording Chewie. Hi, I'm editing Chewie, here to tell you that if you want to help support what we do here on the Mana Pool, the best way to do it is on Patreon by becoming a lifeguard. That's patreon.com/themanapool. Lifeguards get perks. Yay, perks. The uncommon lifeguards get early access to most episodes of the Mana Pool. Obviously not this one, sorry about that. And YouTube videos. Rare lifeguards get the early stuff and access to the odds and ends, which is the behind-the-scenes stuff for episodes of Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool. Not this one. Sorry about that. Live episodes don't have odds and ends because everything that gets recorded just goes in the episode, so. And the mythic lifeguards get the early access to the stuff. They get the odds and ends stuff and they get the sponsorship shout out on both podcasts and on the end screen of YouTube videos. So I'd like to thank our mythic lifeguards Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Paul David, Lance Delicious, Team You Hellas Are You, Connor Kennedy, John Morris, Alex Gonzalez, Jeff Spencer, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Sophia Bertain, Casey, Fayen Says, Danny Leal, Jason Doan, Cody Buckowing, Jake Jansons, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, Keith Moody, John Parker, Aleph Cat, Dan Holm, Bartle, Mike Millerburn, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Whew. So with that, we will be done. Oh, and I was right, way back at the beginning. Actually, I think I said it before the recording started, and Mike said it during the show, during the recording. But yes, this is episode 539 of the Mana Pool, because apparently I'm sometimes good at this game. So, of course, if you want to check out more stuff, there's the YouTube videos, which there's a whole ungodly mess of stuff coming up on the YouTube channel. We've got the Mortal Kombat story mode still going. We've got some Hearthstone videos of just a crazy stream with some insane games. We've got the full Legend of Zelda playthrough on the NES Classic. We've got some Hand of Fate, which is a roguelike game that I played on stream that I really enjoy. And a super special stream from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the World of Light mode. That will be starting soon. Yay! Thanks to the generosity of a mystery listener who wishes to remain nameless. So, thank you very much. But I think that's everything. If not, that's all that and more. So, you can find all that being streamed on twitch.tv/themanapool and going up on YouTube at youtube.com/themanapool. So with that, this episode is over. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.